started, because there are a lot of other things going on tonight, but I wanted to, before we welcome our keynote, I wanted to first do some business. This is our 5th annual college fair, and we're very excited tonight to be focusing on technology, and Manju Banerjee came so highly recommended that we're all really looking forward to her presentation and know we'll learn lots from that. And hopefully everyone has had a chance to go into the library and talk with the technology representatives, which they'll all be here till 9 o'clock. We are still doing our raffle. We're not going to draw that until 8:30. You can win an iPad or one of 10 smart pens or an Intel Reader or Kindle. So buy lots of raffle tickets. We also have to thank our sponsors who have been phenomenal, and because we've had so much support, we've been able to have this program tonight completely for free, and our SEPTA has not had to put out any money, which is just amazing considering how much we've been able to do today. TD Bank has been a remarkable sponsor and a great community partner at the Chamber of Commerce, which Pleasantville SEPTA is a member of. Westchester ARC, always a great sponsor every year. They never hesitate to help us out. WJCS, one of our new sponsors, another great new partner with both our high school and our special ed program, as well as with our SEPTA. And the Westchester Institute for Human Development over in Valhalla at the Medical Center. WIHD has a program tomorrow. That information is in the folders. If you didn't get a folder, they're back by the front door. And there's lots of other great information in those folders as well, including the bios not only for our 2:30 speaker, who is Kristen Love. That event, that presentation was videotaped, so if you missed it, it will be on our website as soon as my tech support team puts that up. My tech support team is Griffin Klein tonight, my son. So you can watch that on demand either through our Pleasantville SEPTA site or through PCTV. In addition to our sponsors, we also have to thank people from our school district. Mary Foxalter, our superintendent, always 100% supportive. Our new high school principal, Don Bartz, has been remarkable. Greg Fondy is always amazing. Also, Elizabeth Hamill from our guidance office, and our super tech hero, Sam Idella, who has made a lot of everybody's life easier tonight with all this technology, which is definitely testing all of our resources. And also, unfortunately, Dr. Carolyn McGuffick, who could not be here tonight. She's our Director of Educational Services and always a huge supporter of our SEPTA and all of the programs that we do. So let's get started. Tonight we have Manju Banerjee. Let me read her incredibly impressive bio, and I can't improvise this because I'll completely mess it up. Dr. Banerjee is the Associate Director of the Center for Students with Disabilities at the University of Connecticut. She is also Research and Education Consultant for the Educational Testing Service in Princeton, New Jersey, and has over 25 years of experience in the field of learning and other disabilities. Dr. Banerjee is a certified diagnostician, big words, and teacher consultant for learning disabilities. She has worked as a post-secondary disability service provider, a faculty member, a rehabilitation counselor, and research consultant for many years. Dr. Banerjee has published and presented extensively, both nationally and internationally, on topics including disability documentation, technological competencies for post-secondary transition, and universal design. She's on the editorial board of the Journal of Post-Secondary Education Disability and the advisory board for Learning Ally, which was formerly called Recording for the Blind and Dyslexic, who we tried to get to come tonight, and we couldn't, unfortunately. She's also on the board for the New England unit of the Learning Ally. I'm sorry, I messed that up. Currently, she is a co-PI on a $1.3 million 3-year federal grant project investigating universal design for instruction in online and technological blended courses. Obviously, Dr. Banerjee was the perfect person to kind of blend our technology piece and our transition piece and really help us all put it together in the context of transition and how critical it is for students with disabilities of any kind, but even those without disabilities, to really become fluent in technology. So without further ado, Dr. Manju Banerjee.
Tara, thank you so much. This is indeed a pleasure. We've been talking, I think, Tara and I, for 2 years now, trying to make this happen. And I am just so excited and delighted to be talking to all of you about a topic that is really close to my heart: technology and disability. Let me start by telling you a little story. So this was about four or 5 years ago. And I was in a disability service office providing services, accommodations to students. This was at the college level. And students were using words like modem and URL. I was like, I don't understand that. And it was at that time when my daughter said, and this is my high school, she was in high school at that time, she said, Mom, I think you need to go back to college. That was scary, but that's exactly what I did. I went back to college to learn about technology and the use of technology for students with disabilities. It is amazing. It is more than just leveling the playing field. And I hope I'll be able to share with you some of that excitement and some of that just the infectious possibilities that technology has for all students, but particularly for students with disabilities. So let me start by, if you will move to the next slide, please. Just sharing with you what my presentation objectives will be for today. I'm going to talk about the changing post-secondary. Am I being heard at the back if I turn my back? I'm not being heard at the back if I... Is this... No, this isn't working. Well, let's try this. Maybe. That's the other thing I learned. Always have a young boy or girl around you who knows technology more than you do. But I'm going to talk about the changing post-secondary landscape and the profile of the internet generation, the net-gen college student. And using that then as the springboard, talk about technology and disabilities and what do we know from the field? What do we know from research? Talk a little bit then about the secondary, post-secondary disconnect. And why is there a disconnect? And what can we do at the secondary level to make that transition less disconnected and more seamless? Talk then about some of the promises and challenges of instructional and learning technologies. And what exactly do we mean by instructional and learning technologies? And move from there to some recommendations for transition to college, the making of a tech-savvy student. We're a small group, so I do invite you to raise your hand, ask any questions that you have. My sense is we're going till about 7:30. Is that the time frame? Terrific. If you could move to the next slide then. Okay, this is through confessions. Raise your hand how many of you can relate with this overhead. All right, we got some. You could lie to your teeth too if you want. Don't want to do that. But yes, I can remember that time when all of these were just books. But times have changed. Moving to the next one. If it's easier for you to just click on the So this is the new post-secondary landscape. The boy is asking his dad, Dad, how did everyone email each other before the internet was around? This generation of students who are graduating from high school is the first generation who will not have known a time before the internet was around. That is powerful. They have no idea what it was like when you could not connect by tweeting with someone. The first thing my daughter did when she went to college was, I don't care about the books, I don't care about how my room is set up, please just let's make sure that the internet connection is on. That's what the college students are all about today. So let's look at some of what the data tells us. College students are by far the largest group of internet users in the general population. Not a surprise. According to the survey, and this was the Pew Research Project again, in 2009, 12 to 13-year-olds, 88% were internet users. 14 to 17-year-olds, 95% internet users. We are in 2011. Any guesses what the number might have gone up? Yes. I'm not a betting person, but I'll bet on that one. Yes. College students are the most active users of social networking sites. Go to Facebook, MySpace, Twitter. Yes, college students use this more and more. I won't get into the philosophical part of it. There's a whole philosophical angle to that. But the point being that college students use social networking not just for social engagement, but also academic engagement. Interesting. In 2002, 9.6% of undergraduates were taking online courses. 2009, the number rose to 29.3%. So last year, there were 5.6 million students taking at least one online course at the post-secondary level. No question about it, students in high school need to be familiar with this tech-infused post-secondary environment. I won't go through all of that, that'll be up there. But just again, the basic premise is that unless you know about mainstream technologies, college is going to be a very alien environment for you. This is a quote from Kurt Landgraf, president of the Educational Testing Service, that agency that administers the GRE, the SAT, and so on. Well, not exactly the SAT, but this is what he said, and this was in 2003. To succeed in today's information-based economy, students need to know how to use technology to create and transform information. So have I convinced all of you now? Technology is big, and that you were glad that you came here today. All right, I'm seeing some nodding. All right, okay, let's see where we go from there. The cartoon says no textbooks. I'm strictly web fed. Any of my, I don't have my teens here, but I bet I get nods from my teens on that cartoon. So having laid the post-secondary landscape, let me talk about technology and students with disabilities. What do we know about that? Have you heard the phrase technology is a great equalizer? Yeah. Well, let's just examine that a little bit more. What exactly does that mean for our students, for our teachers, for our service providers, for our administrators, for our parents? What exactly does that phrase mean? Okay, well, to drive the point home one The College Board actually did, and again, College Board is the organization that actually oversees the SAT exams. They did a really large study in 2005, and what they found is that the clearest differentiator in reading between students who are college ready and those who are not is the ability to comprehend complex text. One thing and one thing alone, and that was the biggest. I mean, there are other indicators as well, but that was the biggest marker of whether you're college ready or not, the ability to read complex text. What we find from the research is that students with low reading abilities are more focused on word reading and decoding. So they are still trying to sound out the words and comprehend secondarily. Whereas students with high reading ability are very fluent in the autonomic reading process, where they are is trying to then understand, self-engage, self-monitor the content. They are well beyond the stage of reading. The question comes up, can technology help? You bet it can. We'll talk about it in a minute. We also find, according to the research, that low reading ability students make less effective use of strategies such as paraphrasing, repetition, rereading, and they definitely demonstrate less effective metacognitive adaptation to the task. Metacognitive is knowing about your own learning, your own reading, any cognitive task that you're performing, knowing when you've mastered something. And that is a challenge for some of our students. What it used to be was that technology in the past, in its traditional role, was documenting it. Remember typing papers on a computer, on a typewriter? Remember the whiteout sheets? Wasn't it the bane of our lives? Oh yes. So it was primarily documenting it. And for students with disabilities, it was primarily assistive. And I'll talk more about assistive technology and the need to move out of the mindset of assistive technology alone for students with disabilities and to be thinking in terms of mainstream technologies. Current role, technology is communicative, it is generative, it is collaborative, and it is interactive. What do I mean? Communicative, Twitter, texting, IMing. Generative, you actually create your own blog. You can post on your own website. Collaborative, email, group projects, a host of programs. I use in my class something called a web quest, where students post on a common website their assignments and thinkings on a particular topic, and definitely interact. So what we know is that success at the post-secondary level has to be realized in the context of the technologies that are used for 3.6 for the no disability group. And then we asked them about how many WebCT courses, that is, online or blended courses they had taken. And at the time of the survey, the average for the disability group was 7, and the average for the no disability group was 10. All right. Then we asked them about their level of comfort with online courses. How comfortable are you navigating the requirements in an online course? And as you can see, and I won't go through the statistics, but as you can see, the result was that students with disabilities were statistically significantly less comfortable with electronic communication compared to students without disabilities. There's a typo there. So clearly, even once they had come to college, students with disabilities were less comfortable with electronic communication. What about the non-academic uses of technology like eBay and music, Netflix, etc.? What we found that students with disabilities were statistically significantly less comfortable with non-academic uses of technology. Use of course management systems like Blackboard, WebCT, so on, and multitasking on the computer compared to students with disabilities. Well, I'm really sorry about the typo there. Yeah, it should be without. For some reason, the without is not showing. But bottom line, the results were that students with disabilities, even when they were in college and had come through a competitive application process, reported being less comfortable with online course and some of the components which are integral to learning in a tech-mediated environment. So what do we do then about students with disabilities and technology in general? We find that students with disabilities are underrepresented in post-secondary education. I'm talking about the broad spectrum of students with disability that covers psychiatric disabilities, that covers learning disabilities, attention deficit disorder, physical, sensory, everything taken together. But here's the interesting part. What we're finding is there's lower persistent rate, usage, ownership, and adoption of technology. Now that is really interesting, that students with disabilities at the post-secondary level coming in are owning less technology, using less technology, are less comfortable with technology, which is disappointing if we think about where the post-secondary environment now is. So they're less likely to own and use learning technologies. Only 6% use computers as an accommodation, and this is in 2009. So definitely there's work to be done. So what happens? So far we've painted this picture. But what happens when this tech-mediated environment at post-secondary level, and the profile that I painted just now of the current internet generation college student intersects with disability? What if I'm a next generation college student but I do have a learning disability, or I have an attention deficit disorder? What does that mean for me? It means both opportunity and barriers. And that's one underlying theme I hope I can convey today. What does it mean? It means that students with disabilities, in terms of the barriers, may lack procedural knowledge. What do I mean by procedural knowledge? Anyone? Procedural knowledge in an online course. Thoughts on that? Knowing how to navigate. Knowing how to get what to post, where to post. Knowing how to make sure that by the time you post it, and if you change to another screen, if you haven't saved it, it's possible you might lose it. So procedural knowledge of the technology, not just what it is, but how do I use it? Important, right? Number 2, fluency. Often you find, and never had that experience where you're stuck with some technology and the IT person comes out and says, oh, this is what you do. You click here, you go there, you click that, and you got it. Yeah. And the next time around, it's like, what did she just tell me? I just totally forgot. So not only did effectively access the tech-infused instruction. So to know which tech tool to use when. The point is, you don't use technology for the sake of using technology. You use technology to achieve an academic goal or an academic task. And students, that's really, really important. It's something that students often get confused on. Hey, this is way cool. I think I want it. Right now, the Kindle Fire, you hear of the Kindle Fire? The new one? Way cool. And I asked some of my students, but what are you going to use it for differently from what you're currently using on your iPad? And I was like, I'm not sure. So we definitely want to ask those questions before you go out and buy another technology. And one of the things we always hear about technology is what's the use? By the time I get fluent and familiar with this, this is already outdated. I have an answer to that. Hold on, I'm going to try and keep you here so that you can hear that answer. Look at the opportunities. A couple of things happen when information, particularly information that you're reading, gets digitized. One of the big advantages of digitalization of text is that you can enhance it. You can embed information in it. You can change it around. You can change it from text format to audio format to multimedia format. Another big thing that happens when information gets digitized is you can access it anyplace, anywhere. It almost becomes place free, if you will. Third thing that happens, you can access a vast amount of it instantaneously. Can't do that with a textbook. I'm all for textbook, but these are some of the realities that our students are going to be addressing as they move from high school to college. So, just a little bit in terms of the background. As special ed teacher, started my career as special ed teacher as an evaluator and diagnostician doing special ed learning disability evaluations. Technology at that time, and this is pre-1990s, technology used to be compensatory in nature. It had a rehab flavor. That is, if there's something missing, we can use technology to compensate for it. And the whole focus was on students with physical and sensory disabilities. Agree with me? Yeah. Kind of in the early 1990s, the whole notion of technology leveling the playing software. What I hope I will be able to show you is some low-cost and free technologies that you can go home today and start using, either in your classroom setting or with your students, son or daughter at home. I wanted to share two implications, and these are important implications for students transitioning from high school to college. One of the things is this notion of new literacy. What is new literacy? In the past, literacy was the ability to read print. And the neat thing about print was it was contained. You knew in a book, if you were reading it, where it started and where it ended. You could actually physically touch and see the beginning and the end. What technology has done is challenge traditional beliefs about literacy and reading. It is now multidimensional and is a function of the technology within which it is hosted. Let me tell you what I mean by that. When you are reading on the internet, you don't know where it starts and you don't know where it ends. In a textbook, you start like maybe chapter 1 or chapter 7, wherever. On the internet, you start with a query. So the first thing is students have to know how to phrase a query in terms of search words and phrases. Number 2, you got to know how to navigate. There are lots of distractors, moving animations, icons, links, hyperlinks. Do I go to this? Do I go to that? Do I stay with this text? Choices. Number 3, you got to critically evaluate. Is this someone's opinion charading as something really like a peer-reviewed information? Or is it someone just posting something? So you got to critically evaluate that information. These are all new skills. Number 2, number 4, you got to synthesize all this information. These are all skills that traditional literacy did not require. Is there a course teaching this, either in school or in college? Some schools, yes. Some colleges, yes. But not consistently. And that's really an issue. Moving on. I think I talked about those implications of social networks, so I'm going to move on from here. I'm going to move on to this one too. So let me read this. This is the Center for Applied and Special Technologies. David Rose and Ann Myers have done a lot of research with technology and disabilities. And what they talk about is that the use of technology is not simply as assistive or compensatory for students with disabilities, but is really redefining how students learn, how teachers teach, and how learning is assessed. Big changes. So what are these changes? Just move from there. For some reason, this is not the. No, just yeah. This is not the. No, just keep moving on here. Yeah, let's move to this. What I thought I'd do is now share with you some technologies that you can actually go back and use. But what I've done is I've phrased it in form of different tasks and challenges that some students have with those tasks, and then some tools. So here's what it is. The task is reading, access to information. What are some of the challenges students might have just with reading? Some of our students with cognitive disabilities have difficulty with phonological processing, decoding, sound symbol association, fluency, automaticity, difficulty with vocabulary. Are these sounding familiar? These are areas of challenge. What can technology do together with some strategies for reading? We know the evidence-based practice of multimodal engagement. That helps. free, and it is a text-to-speech software. From one of the economics textbooks in college, could be school as well. What I have installed is WordTop as an add-on. I highlight the section. That I want the program to read. Now remember, this is free. This is on a PC, but Mac has its own built-in amazing software, which is yes. But you get the idea. So what I have here, and these PowerPoints will be up on the website, I think Tara talked about it. What you will see is that you can use free downloadables and 30-day vendor demo downloadables to really find out the technology that's going to work best for you. What WordTalk does, if you combine it with AT&T Naturally Speaking Voices, you can pretty much read, and AT&T Naturally Speaking Voices costs around $99. It is amazing. Doesn't have the mechanical. This is free, so it does have a little bit of that mechanical tone to it. But at the end of the day, you can really use it with evidence-based practices that help with decoding, that help with concentration, that help with fluency of reading. Okay, we got those. Now let's look at the next one. What about cognitive access? The thing with cognitive access is Microsoft Word has a whole host of suite of features that students can use to help them comprehend information. I'm going to demo one of them to you. Are you familiar with auto summary? Anybody used auto summary before? It's a really neat tool, but use with caution. So let me demo how that one works. It's auto summary. It's right there, the one which is highlighted on the red, underlined in red on the screen. What auto summary does, you can't see them. What it does is there is algorithm built into the computer which will actually summarize the text that is on the screen. You can get a 10% summary, 25% summary, a 50% summary, and it will highlight the summary sections within the text or create it in a separate text. So see what happens. Let's say I am choosing the 25% summary for this economics text, and I do OK. Do you see that? This is a really neat tool. The way I have used it with my students is I say, okay, you are having a really hard time let's say, reading 14 pages, which you have to read in the next half an hour. Let's start with the summary. First, let's start with the summary. It calms students down. In college, you got to read 200 pages. I was reluctant to say it, 200 pages in 2 days. But it calms students down. It helps students who have difficulty with reading to get a gist of what they're reading and then start reading the details. Free built-in feature within Microsoft. There's a whole host, yes. Yes. If it's not available digitally, yes. There are some really neat portable scanners that you can slide through and get it in. You've got to make sure it's not an image scan, rather it's a document scan. That's a critical thing. So if you're, that is an issue. There is a way to convert it. There is a way to convert it, and I can show that to you if you're really interested, because we do a lot of that scanning at my place of work. Yes, but it has to be converted to not a JPEG, but a document scan. So moving on from there, I'm going to show you a couple of features. Note-taking, another biggie at the college level. It used to be that students would sit there with tape recorders. What was the biggest problem with tape recording a class lecture? You find points in the middle. Other problems. Couldn't hear it very well. It also created for parallel learning. You sat in class for 45 minutes or an hour and a half, then you've got to go back and listen to that lecture for an hour and a half. How many of us, we wouldn't do it, and we expect our students to do it, and we say, oh, we are accommodating you. So you saw the smart pen. I was going to demo that. I won't demo that. It is a wonderful tool for students who have difficulty with taking notes in class. Are you familiar with the smart pen? Did people go and look at the smart pen? Okay, let me just describe the smart pen to you, because I don't think we have time to go over it right now, but let me at least talk to you about it. What it does is you have these dot matrix paper notebooks. And it used to be 4 of these, 100 pages, $20, it's come down to $10 now. But you write on this page with a pen, which is both a computer and has a built-in camera. So what the paper does, because it's dot matrix, you click on it, and it has a place where you actually start then recording the voice of the person talking, the teacher or the faculty member talking. And then, when you're writing your notes, if you miss something, you leave a space there, or you don't even have to leave a space. You can just put an icon or whatever. And when you go back and you click, just literally tap on that, the voice of the professor will come up through the pages, because it is doing the recording. It is dot matrix paper, but it looks like regular paper. Do I have any? I didn't bring it because it's in the exhibit hall. It's a really cool tool. Many of our students in our law school actually use that. It costs like $120, but really worth it for some students who have difficulty with note-taking. Here's another one, which I tell students to use. When you're going in and you're talking to a tutor, or you're talking to a professor during office hours, use Audacity. Anybody familiar with Audacity? Free tool, another one. Check this out. It's called Audacity. So what you do is, once you download it, a screen like this appears. And you can have this running in the background. Let's say you're meeting with a tutor or you're meeting with a peer who's explaining a concept to you. Just have your laptop and have this running in the background. I don't even have to have the screen open. But what it is doing is recording that dialogue and recording that conversation. You save it as an MP3 file on your computer. You can email it to yourself. The tutor can email it to you. The teacher can email it to you. Free, goes on for hours and hours. The only limit is the memory of your computer. So look what happens. When you're done with it, close that, and I play it. Do you hear that? It's like a tape recorder, but it's free. And here's the best part. With the tape recorder, you've got to do with the tape, you've got to deal with the equipment. This is perfectly mobile. You can email it, you can send it anywhere you want, you can carry it in your iPod, listen to it on your iPod, listen to it on any device that's an MP3 player. So another really cool tool. Some students are, yes. You just have to let the professor know that you're doing a recording, just like you would do with a tape recorder, about 10 to 15 feet, depending on the capability of your microphones. Is that a program that comes in your computer or do you provide it? It's free. You just go to the internet and download it. Audacity. Totally free. There are several features. I'm going to just skip over because you're going to get, you will have all of these, and I do want to get to questions. So let me talk about some tips and suggestions for transition. We're definitely looking for tech solutions for academic tasks. Do have their limitations, but what you really need to consider is the individual student profile. One of the things we talk about is competencies for entry level at the post-secondary institutions. And my colleague and I, Lauren Brinkerhoff and I, had actually put together a self-survey questionnaire that students can ask, high school students can ask themselves to see if they are technologically prepared for transition to college. Again, on the resource section, you will see I have included the resource. It's a free resource. It's from the Schwab Learning Center. The Lauren Brinkerhoff is right here. This is something we had done for Schwab Learning, and it's a nice little, handy little self-check for high school students to find out, am I tech prepared? Or what do I need to do to get tech prepared for college? The other big thing is to help students develop competencies with mainstream technologies. I can't emphasize enough that while assistive technology is important, we really also need to consider mainstream technologies. A very simple example. So many colleges, you're going to be doing research on the internet. Depending on your skills on how to do an internet search, you can either get lost in the digital maze or you can come out a winner. These are skills students don't learn by osmosis. They have to be explicitly taught how to do an internet search, how to sift out what is opinion from authentic on the internet. So again, really, really important skills for some of our students. One of the things I often hear from parents, teachers, students themselves, it's really a challenge to learn about technology because the minute I've kind of gotten familiar with something, it's outdated. What we do at UConn is to talk about forget the bells and whistles with different newer versions. Focus on a core set and get familiar with the core set of tools and functionalities. And if that serves your purpose, don't get bought in by newer versions. Just use what you need and get familiar with it. So the idea of using a core set of technologies, and that backpack which is back there on the screen, we talk about with our bookstore, we have this arrangement of what we call an accessible bundle. So when students come in to UConn to buy a computer, they can inquire about our accessibility bundle and purchase that as well. And it doesn't have to be a UConn student. So what do we have in that bundle? We have a couple of tools. One of the tools is a flash drive. Really key to transport something from one to a place to another. Use it in the library or in the bookstore or in the student union, etc. Number two is a software called Adobe Acrobat. I really would love to show you Adobe Acrobat. Are people willing? I know we're well over 7 o'clock. Are people willing to sit for just 2 minutes? I want to show you Adobe Acrobat. It's a really, really neat tool to use. So this is a PDF file. And today's computers, you can go back and forth. They're built in. You can convert Word document into PDF and vice versa. So let's say I have a PDF file, and at the post-secondary level, many faculty members will post PDF files for reading for their coursework. What Adobe allows you to do is to insert comments. So let me show you how we do that. You go to this comment feature right here, and it opens up a little yellow sticky note. So it's like a sticky note for your computer. And you can type in whatever notes you're taking on what you're reading, and then you can hide it. You can move it around to wherever you want and hide it. So it remains wherever you want to put it. Now, what if you're not good at writing notes as you're reading? What if you would rather talk about what you just read? You can embed audio notes. Want to check that out? Okay. Let's then go to comments feature. Now let's go to the commenting tool. And here is audio comment. What happened here? I'm not sure why it's not showing up. But essentially I have embedded audio comments here. It'll come up like this. I gotta say this, technology, you gotta love it, but when it works. When it doesn't, yes. Absolutely, that was one of the suggestions. I'm going to come to that. Absolutely. And here's what I would recommend, that in the past, IEP goals have included assistive technologies. And what have we talked about? We've talked about a tape recorder. We've talked about a calculator. We've talked about maybe portable word processors. We really need to move beyond that mindset with the IEP goals and talk about how to search on the internet, how to read digital text, how to embed and scaffold e-tools within the text. If I may share with you, then I'm going to get off that because that seems tough, but let me just talk to you. As part of the grant that Tara was talking about, we have created a library, a repository of what we call e-tools that can be used for a vast number of instructional and learning purposes, both by teachers, actually primarily by teachers, but also by students. So some of the tools that I'm showing you, like Audacity, like Adobe Acrobat, like Auto Summary, Google Calendar, etc., are all there on that website with step-by-step instructions on how to use it. This was part of the grant. And the website for that is www.uconn.edu/tools.
www.udi.uconn.edu. www.udi.uconn.edu. So it contains professional instructional modules. It contains lists of all a repository of over 100 different tools and features and instructional, step-by-step instruction on how to use those features. So definitely focusing on a core set of technologies rather than every new innovation. And finally, teaching strategies and skills that go with the tools. So it's not just about the technology and tools. What it's really about is strategies and techniques that will help facilitate and implement tools that will help facilitate and implement strategies and techniques. This is what we end up with. All through high school, he wouldn't talk to anyone, hardly said a word. And now he's graduating from an Ivy League college with an advanced degree in communications. Technology is making that possible for our students. Thank you very much. I know we are well over our time limit. I don't know. I'll be around here if people have questions. Happy to answer any questions. Yes. Yes, we are. We have actually a course. This is an ornithology course where the professor uses Twitter and students go out into the field with their phones. And whenever they see a bird, they will tweet about the features and the location and the site, etc. One of the most popular courses on campus. So absolutely we are using it. And again, students really need to know both the positives as well as some of the challenges of using social networking such as Facebook, and what are some of the concerns, if you will, of using these. And again, we don't have a curriculum. Some schools use the NET standards, National Education Technology Standards, which is a curriculum in itself. But when you look at the general curriculum standards, we have standards for physics, for English, for math. We don't have standards consistently across the country for use of technology, and yet it is so critical at the post-secondary level. Other questions? Okay, thank you very, very much.